Thank you for giving me the floor. The previous speaker is really an expert in saying some things in a persuasive manner, but when you really analyze all this stuff, you can easily find out why it is not going to work. And now I'm going to explain so it will be really completely clear, and so there are no problems with the persuasiveness. So we'll begin with rebuttal. First point, they tell us from both tables that there is some kind of perception of pussy riot that will be better for that. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two categories of people in Russia, simplified. One are liberal and other are not liberal. Those guys who are liberal, they understand who pussy riots are. They understand what are they fighting for, they know it, and if this one man of pussy riot goes away, they will understand that maybe it's not a good thing to live in prison, and it's completely okay, it will not lower the image. And there is another group of people who are maybe a bit more traditional, a bit more radical, and who are much more influenced upon by Putin's mass media. And anyway, they even now think that pussy riot is the deepest evil that could occur with Russia, because they are fighting against Russian church, they are fighting against Russian government, and so on and so forth. And for these people, Putin's state media even today shows the picture that these women didn't do anything good at all, and so nothing changes. They can speculate now, they will do it later, and this way is not going to change anything. Moreover, they tell us, for example, that if I am as a president of pussy riot run away, that means that I lose possibility to do some political stuff in Russia. That's not true. Because, for first reason, I believe you can return after some fundamental changes occur, and for example, Putin is not more in power. And as a person in Russia, I can really say that it will be it's not so long time to wait before that. You have 2 or 4 years, and they will be able to return back and do completely the same things. And so we see that if it's completely the same, it is better to spend 2 years not in prison, but in some other better place. Finally, I'm going to tell you that about internet technology that they have today. They can steal internet technology and influence their supporters here, the liberal people. And if they stay in prison, they can do anything at all. Therefore, they compare nothing at all with a bit of some chance of influencing, this chance to do better. And about role model that Ilya told us. Of course, very nice speaking about that we need role model people who are not afraid of Putin. But what today this model really shows us, that as soon as you get to some place and you say something about Putin, you will get to prison. And you will stay in prison for 2 years or even more. Actually, people don't like staying in prison. And when they see such things, they understand that, oh, if I do something against Putin, ultimately I will finish really better. And that's why they don't want to do it. But if they see that even Putin regime is not so hard, that he cannot control anything, and even pussy riot can run away, the greatest thing that shows that Putin is not so hard, that you can go and you can still achieve something. And it is not 100% sure that you will be punished for that, and it's true. I'll take you in a minute. And final point, they told us that we are such sexist guy who just defend pussy rights as women, that's why they are weak, and no, that's wrong. We don't think so. We just think people tend to value comfort when it brings some benefits. Lenin and Solzhenitsyn were not women, but they chose an option to go away just because it was a better way for them to realize what they want. Nothing sexist at all we do it, people are curious like comfort. First thing.
How is running away from Putin a show of force to Putin and a show of loyalty to Russia?
And I'll speak a bit later about loyalty to Russia, and it just shows that Putin cannot control everything. And this is the most important point, because today we can admit that Putin is such a guy who was in KGB some time ago and who controls anything, you can't do anything. That's why it's important to ruin this image, it will be even more benefits. But now, what I'm going to explain in our extension. These guys told us it's very important for pussy rights to fight for human rights, to fight for women's rights, for gender equality in Russia. As a person who have no pussy rights before it became mainstream in Russia, I want to tell you that they have some kind of great patriotic feeling and some kind of superior attachment to Russia. They are just fighting for women's rights. They are just fighting for gender equality. They are just fighting for equality in sexuality between homosexuals and straight guys. That's what they are doing. And what do you want to say? What they really want to find out, as any person, just coming to the head of the person, you want to bring some input. You want to bring some change in society. And for pussy rights, very liberal people, it is important, just they change something in a better way. And we believe that if these girls, just one of them, just goes from Russia to and abroad, she can do a lot of that. What do we mean? Because today, here in Russia, your capabilities are limited because all things is evil because of state media and so on and so forth. At the same time, in the West, they are known as authorities in thinking because of fortune, who included them in top 100 of greatest thinkers of today's time. And that's why they have great authority and they have more power there. And what do you mean? today, even in the West, the all-established gender equality is not completely good and there's a long way to go there. Therefore, I believe we can see that this person can make even more change there. And we as people just try to bring more input in society. And if my input there will be even more than here, that's what I'm going to make as a person. These guys just saw that, for example, I love Russia and that's all. We say no. Because these girls have never shown a sign that they love especially Russia. They just wanted to find for
Dima,
yes.
Dima, this is ridiculous. Are you going to say that their song Madonna, please please throw away the Putin has nothing to do with Putin, Russia, and just generally about
Okay, that's a very nice point. Putin Right has several albums, and the only one song is known is about Putin. All the other songs have no single word about this man. All the other value positions are not concerned about Putin. And the very, very concern with Putin was that he was really a sexist because he told us, really, what's the role for the women? Of course she should make borscht in the kitchen and she should make children. That's what they were created for. That's why they were against Putin in this special case, and they are not kind of Navalny, whom I like very much. They're completely different. And final point we want to bring you. We want you to say that maybe people sometimes value comfort more. And for all the people, no matter if they are women or men, they really sometimes value comfort more. What's important to understand? When Hse were doing the stuff they were doing, they were not ready to come to prison. They were not ready to be punished in so hard ways. They just thought we will do something and maybe we'll spend 2 weeks for just being hooligans. They were not ready to bring such huge sacrifices. And we believe that today, when they have a chance not to do the sacrifices anymore because they were not ready, it is just the thing that they should do. Because being in really a Russian prison is really deep, deep shit. You do not want to come there because it is very likely they can completely destroy as a person there. And we have seen that a lot. We have seen a lot of psychological pressure there, a lot of physical pressure, a lot of risk even for life with people. What about, for example, Khodorkovsky is really great. He was sitting for 6 years, and when he was going to ready and get out of the prison, he was found some additional crime, and he was put in prison for 4 more years. We believe that Putin is completely okay with that, and it is we're not sure how much they spend there. So for all these reasons, it was really important for me, as a member of Hse Right, to bring change, and the best way to realize it is go to West, I'll do it.